Our Bitcoin still isn't really truly moving, is it? And this is usually when people stop paying attention. Look below. If you're seeing this video, you're probably seeing a much lower view count. It is pretty mental. But historically, this is kind of what Bitcoin does. It likes to throw a bit of a wobbly and act like a 7-year-old. It will do what it wants when it wants. But with fresh tension incoming, with gold, all kinds of metals flying to the moon, why isn't Bitcoin moving? I think we need to look a little bit closer. So we're going to look at this situation again. And if you are new around here, it would have massively appreciated if you do slap that like button and share this video around. Let's get the algorithm going, because I am focusing more on Bitcoin content and cryptocurrency market as a whole versus randomness, as you can imagine. If you let me know in the comments below how bored you are on a scale to 1 to 10, that would be massively appreciated. I might send you some, I don't know, puzzles. Anyways, let's move on. So Bitcoin is lagging while metals soar. We've talked about this for a while. Obviously, a rare divergence has preceded every single major cryptocurrency breakout. The problem we have is the market is in such an uncertain water. It really is. It's a bit choppy, it's a bit mental, and it kind of is ruining a lot of the flow, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency. Now, as you know, I do have a second YouTube channel. I talk about personal finance and wealth creation through cash flow and dividends and stuff like that. You probably know about it anyways, because I talked about it on this channel quite a lot. I've obviously just put it elsewhere. The difference in the markets are unbelievable. It really is, in terms of why the personal finance world is just going berserk versus say crypto right now. And I wouldn't say it's worrying, but it's just a little bit odd. And I feel like we have been here before, and the date here comes quite alarmingly true. I know not everyone likes me, and I know not everyone's been here for that long, but I've been in crypto since 2016. This is a weird market right now. I've been through multiple cycles, bull and bear. I've made my wealth. I'm happy. But we're talking about how this, in terms of 2019, is a huge situation where it is creating a little bit of concern for a lot of people in terms of why is it happening, what's happening next, is it all technical, is it fundamental based, why are certain things buying up gold, and what happens to the world of crypto, which is more probably where the problem lies. Because when we talk about what is physically happening right now, bear with me, but when we talk about what is physically happening, the dollar index has kind of had a bit of a wobble due to Mr. Trump threatening 8 European countries with new tariffs. That again is creating more concern. The political element around all of this is becoming a bit of a problem. So yeah, we're talking about the markets fighting news here, and obviously, yeah, the dollar is dropping, and it has dropped for quite a while. I think the whole point of tariffs was to get people locked in, and then it nuke itself down into a devalued dollar, and it's so far working. But we've got so many unanswered questions regarding how tariffs are going to happen and if they're going to be legal. We could talk about this as well, the Clarity Act, and how Coinbase accused of rug pull as White House weighs in on it. And this is a situation where it's just about yield. Obviously, yield in crypto doesn't really exist, let's be honest here. But the problem we have with this is we have no idea what's happened. We have no clarity of what's coming, basically. Long story short. So yeah, I know people are like looking at this at a different viewpoint, but for me, I'm not a fan of all this kind of malarkey. I don't like it at all. It's becoming a bit of a problem. So yeah, let's talk about real life. Let's talk about realism, because this is my dollar cost average challenge. I started this in October 2024, sorry. And why I did this was every single Sunday at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I would just buy a little bit of Bitcoin every single week now I use Strike because there's no recurring fees on that. It's brilliant platform. So 0.2 BTC, but we're only up 14%. Now in traditional market terms, that on a normal kind of period would be all right over a period of like 14 months, give or take, 15 months. But now we know that the stock market and golds and metals, whatever, has flew. This is giving you a bit of context at how poorly, I'm hoping you know this, Bitcoin is done. And if you do want to follow along a bit closely with this and what I'm doing and the plan with this, all the details are in Patreon. I'm not trying to get rich quick here. I'm just going to try and showcase how time, consistency will allow you to build wealth if you're doing the right thing, sticking to the obvious. And it does work. I am up. I've not made mega money, but I do believe, personal thoughts here, not financial advice, If I bought altcoins doing the exact same thing, I would probably have maybe a quarter of them funds now, you'd probably imagine, unless I bought something that flew, which I think there's been, 2 or 3 assets that have flew in that period, which is crazy. But let's look at Bitcoin, shall we? I think we should. I'm bored. I'm really bored. It's becoming concerning. We are slowly trying to chug up, and we have had a change of character. But I'm still bored because nothing's happened yet. My big situation is, are we going to, off this EMA 21 on the 2-day time frame, go berserk? Now, my concern is this: stable currency dominance is still not below the red line. Yes, this is starting to turn bullish. Cool. But that's as far as we've got to go. And I do talk about this in more depth on Patreon through my technical analysis videos, and I talked about it on Thursday. And I was still concerned on Thursday that we had quite an aggressive pullback, but no real kind of momentum at any point during that period. You can see it in the candles. The candles are straight down, ugly. 3-day time frame paints the same sort of picture. Hit the level on the nose, and that was it. Ooh, ugly. So yeah, if you want to be more laid back about the market, I mean, I do teach all this, but I'm just not feeling it at the minute. I'm not feeling where the volume or the information, the technicals are going to come from when it comes to Bitcoin yet. And normally there's a sign, normally there's like a little bit of a rumble somewhere, but there hasn't been a rumble, has there? And that's what worries me. And when we talk about the overall picture on other markets, and let me talk about that, because my biggest situation, obviously you know this, is altcoins have literally froze and died, right? And I know I've lost a lot of followers and a lot of Patreon members when I went from 2024 into Bitcoin full time, pretty much, in terms of I'm just going to have Bitcoin for now, because I wasn't sure. And that scared a lot of people, and it made people go, what the fuck are you doing? And I think I've been right in that situation. But being a full-time holder of just Bitcoin has simplified life and has been so far the correct decision. The problem we have is dominance is still very high. And you could probably argue this has been worse than Bitcoin because nothing has happened. You could argue we've been ranging since the 18th of November. What? How often do we range like this in Bitcoin dominance? We don't really. That's the thing. Others.d is also dropping, and this was a little annotation that I did a while back. Saying you should be buying at these low levels if you are looking at altcoins. Personally, I'm not, but many people would have been. And right now, this metric is showing no interest at all in these assets, at all. So yeah, we could talk about the problem here, and it probably is due to the fact that stable currency dominance is still going up, as you can see. Potentially, that says consider the ECA up there, by the way. Basically, a lot of money out of the market, probably no interest at all. Buy. We're not at that point yet. We're not at that ugly bearish market phase yet. But with Bitcoin doing nothing, it's creating a little bit of uncertainty. No rotation equals problems, right? If Bitcoin decides to do something, people will start noticing and looking at it. But it's not. It's like the chicken and the egg, isn't it? Bitcoin comes first, then the altcoins go second, right? Normally. Right now, we've got a situation where metals are flying, stocks are doing all right, give or take, not all of them, but some of them. And then you got the situation where Bitcoin's doing nothing. It's a bit of a problem. And even in my Patreon, as much as I recommend people to do some trading, it's been quite hard. The amount of trades and the analysis that Ash is doing on that Patreon is quite hard to kind of grasp any sort of real positions. Right now, I think it's a really interesting market for scalping. But the problem we have is there's no trend trades, there's no real big swing trade opportunities. They've kind of already gone. I think what happens is people get destroyed by spots for believing in an asset and an idea, and then they get destroyed. Whereas I think the idea should be you should be trading altcoins up, down, left, right, center, literally long and short. You might make more money if you do not have a relationship with them because the price is there. It will tell you one way or another. Some stuff is flying. Let me give you an example. Now, I talked about Dash on Thursday. It had a big price move, as you can see, right? Crazy. Now this is giving us opportunity. So when we talk about trading, and by the way, there's a link to this below, it's brilliant because you get 20% back on fees. But ultimately, with these, this is what people will be gravitating to. Oh, wow, there's been an opportunity here. For me, this looks better as a potential short opportunity than a long opportunity because we've had this big, massive square. We've up, this could be a big, massive level of resistance. put your stop loss around here, and you could be looking to target down here. The thing is, with altcoins, they're very cyclical. You get a bit of sunlight and then it just dies off, doesn't it? So be very, very mindful of that. But yeah, just giving you my opinion on it. I think a lot of people are missing out on potential moves in the market, getting bored, when realistically, look at what's doing craziness. And look at, for example, here, right? Just give you one more example. Look at Monero. Monero is absolutely flying to like stupid levels. There'll be a point where this will just collapse because there'll be no interest. The rotation and narrative will run and it will change. So be mindful of that. And that's the thing, right? We can talk about the news, we talk about narratives, but the thing is, people are draining their entire spot accounts by jumping on the wrong thing at the wrong time. I've even seen now, and I get messages all the time, and even people on my Patreon said the same thing. They're interested in metals now, for example, right? Like in previous narratives, that would happen. But boredom will create problems. It will create bad trades, bad investments, bad whatever. You look at the news, for example, and you start dwelling on things with headlines because you notice it more because your portfolio's down, right? That's kind of the overall situation of any market. Less exposure is probably the best thing to have right now. Like myself, I am in Bitcoin. I sold some. I've held stables for a while now. I'm waiting for it to go lower. You've probably seen my target levels anyways. Those defined levels is what I plan out and I have planned out, and I'm going to stick to them. I talk about that on my Patreon and a guide. You can get that if you remember. Very, very easy to do, and it will probably change the way you think. But the thing is, don't let the market take control of you. You have to have a plan. You have to stick with it. You have to stick within your own risk parameters, how much capital you want to risk. If you're not, you're just going to get battered, and you're going to be one of those statistics that are just getting destroyed. And that's the thing. The warning isn't that price is falling. It's the fact that the price is going nowhere right now. And I think that's where the biggest concern is. But even though, right, Bitcoin hasn't moved, it doesn't mean it's not going to move ever. That's all I'm going to say, realistically. And it means that something is happening somewhere, and it will eventually change, because it will. That's what the world of Bitcoin is. Just give me 2029 vibes. Anyways, if you want more analysis, I did a video the other day. That might give you a bit of a clue as to what else could be happening. Just saying.